Good day to everybody. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. As always, thanks for being here. The support is much appreciated. In the last video we did on this channel, we spoke about Shaman Nicholson and his progress at Claremont. In this video, we're going to be speaking on Leon Bailey and his progress at Aston Villa. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Reggae Boyz flying in the English Premier League, and frankly speaking, it's a good look, it's a great look. Leon Bailey is flat out balling for Aston Villa in the English Premier League. From a standpoint of a Reggae Boyz fan and a Jamaican football fan, it's a very good look to see one of our own, a Jamaican player, doing exceptionally good things in the biggest league, the biggest and toughest league in the world. Is not every day you see a reggae boy, especially a Jamaican born reggae boy, balling at such a high level in the biggest, toughest league in the world. It's a very good look, and from a Jamaican standpoint, man, words can't surmise how pleased we are to see this, right? It's a very good look. Leon Bailey, news broke earlier this week that he was up to signing a new contract with Aston Villa, a contract extension, and it's a good look. Initially, when I saw it at first, there's always the thought that's going to come across your mind, is it the best thing for him to do that at this time? What if a big club wants him come the summer, or a bigger club rather? Villa is a big club, but you do have bigger clubs out there, Will him signing a new contract extension make it more difficult for a bigger club to come in and swoop him up in the summer and for him to be playing at an even higher level? And while that may be the case, I'm not prepared to jump to conclusions where that is concerned, simply because we do not know the contract. We do not know the terms of the contract, and because of that, it's not best, or it's not the right thing to arrive at certain conclusions. I'm sure the players' management team, would take all of that into consideration. But from what we understand, Bailey will be signing a new contract, and he will be getting a raise as well, a salary raise, a salary increase. So, that's really good to see, and we're happy for the baller. I'm sure all of the variables at play would be taken into consideration before pen to paper is signed, pen is put to paper, and I'm sure everything would be taken into consideration, and he would sign a deal that is in his best interest going forward. It's a really good look, because it wasn't too long ago that Villa fans were screaming for Bailey to be thrown out the door, out of Aston Villa. Many of them weren't pleased with their big money signing. Fast forward a number of months later, and said Villa fans are on Twitter begging Leon Bailey to sign the contract. So, it's a good look though. It's a good look. Bailey looks like he's the type of player that when his back is against the wall, that's when he comes out swinging. He looks like he's really that player that thrives, in adversity and adverse circumstances. So that is always a good trait to have. As I say, Bailey's just flat out balling in the Prem, man. Balling to the point where on occasions throughout the season, we have been seeing teams deliberately changing, adjusting tactics just to cope with Leon Bailey. Perfect example, when he came on versus Newcastle. We see teams employing certain tactics, changing tactics just to in preparation for going up against Leon Bailey. Such is the impact that Leon Bailey is having for Aston Villa, just flat out balling, right? He has scored 7 goals and 6 assists in 21 games in the English Premier League this season. Bear in mind also, ladies and gentlemen, that he has started only 43% of those games. 43%. So he hasn't, he's a more frequent starter in the last few months than he was in the earlier part of the season. And that is a testament to how well he was doing coming off the bench. But these are impressive statistics, especially when you look at the goal contributions, and how frequently they are coming. If I'm not mistaken, going off memory, I stand corrected, but going off memory, if I'm not mistaken, Leon Bailey is averaging a goal contribution every 70-something minutes. If memory serves right, it's 73 minutes, every 73 minutes. That is very impressive in the English Premier League. The last time I saw the stat for who is averaging the most goal contributions in terms of per minutes played, the last time I saw that stat, it was Leon Bailey who was averaging the most goal contributions in the English Premier League per minutes played. I don't know if that number has changed, if that has changed since the last time I saw it. But the last time I saw that stat, Bailey was the one atop those rankings in the English Premier League. So it's a really good look what Leon Bailey is doing this season. He is flat out balling, and as I said earlier on, it's really good to see that it was just a number of months ago Villa fans were very displeased with their club record signing. With one of their club's biggest signings, in terms of, he wasn't the record signing, but he was one of the most expensive players Villa had ever brought in to their club at the time when he came in. And they weren't very pleased with him at all when, for quite some time, for a long time in fact. But, sentiments towards the player is changing very much, and Villa fans right now are them baller. Because the fact of the matter is, when you watch Aston Villa play, Leon Bailey is arguably Villa's most creative player. Yes, Douglas Luiz has the passing, Yes, the energy that an Ali Watkins or the captain John McGinn brings to the table creates a lot of opportunities as well for Villa. But Leon has everything, the work rate, the passing, the vision, the skill, the technical ability, the trickery. And he creates a lot for Villa because of those attributes. In my humble opinion, and in the opinion of many Villa fans who watches Aston Villa games, many of them are saying that Leon Bailey is their most creative player. It's very good to see what Leon Bailey is doing for Aston Villa. Just a few months ago, I myself was wondering if Leon Bailey had a future at Aston Villa. You remember when he was double subbed versus, if memory serves right, it was Liverpool earlier in the season. Very early in the season, Villa were having a performance that left a lot to be desired against Liverpool. He came on, I don't remember who he replaced, but somebody came off because of injury. He came on, and then he was the first player off the pitch. In terms of while he was on the pitch, he was the first player to come off. He was double subbed. Very embarrassing, and he himself was not pleased. He came off and stormed off down the tunnel. It was very embarrassing, and a lot of people know that when managers do that, managers don't get up and do something like that just likely. I don't know if it was a message being sent or what, but a lot of players interpret, and a lot of fans interpret that as disrespect. I interpreted it as disrespect. And I thought it was very unfair to Bailey, because I thought Bailey was arguably Villa's best player going forward in the time that he was on the pitch in that game, right? Many people thought it was a tactical change. Me personally, I disagreed at the time. I just thought it was flat out disrespectful, right? So I was wondering, does Leon Bailey have a place at Aston Villa going forward? Is Unai Emery losing confidence in this player? But again, man, Bailey looks like he's the type of player, man, he comes out swinging when his back is against the wall. Leon Bailey started life at Villa very badly. His first season was injury laden. He would play 3-4 games, 5 games, then boom, another injury. that kept him out for another month or two. Then he would come back, play 3, 4, 5 games, looked better with each passing game, then boom, another injury again. And that was basically the cycle, the pattern, the trend throughout the entirety of his first season. I don't know if it was the physicality of the English Premier League, the pace at which the game was played. I don't know what it is, why, he was really getting injured very badly in that season. And it clearly played a role in his performances, right? As soon as he started looking sharp, boom, another injury, and he would basically have to almost start over again when he came back 2 months later. The second season, inconsistency was the order of that second season for Leon Bailey. He would have a very good, excellent performance this week against Brentford, for instance, and then the next week, he would be complete trash sometimes, to be honest with you. Ball against Manchester United, dash Manchester United defenders, and then the next week against Crystal Palace, for just a hypothetical scenario, he would look poor, right? Very inconsistent, but you saw flashes of brilliance from him, right? And you saw that there was a player in there. However, this season, one of the best players in the Premier League for me, in my humble opinion, right? He's one of the leading goal contributors in the English Premier League. Only 11 players in the English Premier League have had more goal contributions than him. That's impressive. He is balling this season, far more consistent, just playing well, game in, game out. Even when he doesn't score or goal contribute, which is rare these days, he still plays very well. For me, this is prime Leon Bailey, and he has made a number of improvements. He looks better in 1v1 scenarios right now. In 1v1 scenarios this season, he looks unplayable. Just a dash with defenders left, right, and center. He's more dynamic going forward. A lot of the times, he was more leaning towards cutting inside. This season, we see him cutting inside. We see him going down the line. More dynamic, and hence, less predictable, more unpredictable, which is always a good trait for forwards, especially a winger, to have. And I think that has caused a fair bit of problems this season as well. He looks sharper. He just looks sharper. He looks sharp. Cutting edge sharp. Technically he looks sharper. More control when he is carrying the ball. Better touch on the dribble. Especially when he's moving very quickly with the ball. Moving very quickly in the ball and having a great amount of control over it. Running at defenders and balancing defenders, that sort of a thing. Decision making has also improved from the player. He has just improved leaps and bounds this season at Aston Villa. Leaps and bounds. And I think Unai Emery also has a lot to do with it. One, the role and the functions that he has Leon Bailey doing in the games for Villa, in terms of his individual coaching of Leon Bailey, and also the mere fact that overall Aston Villa just looks a more organized unit going forward in attack, right? And when you have a manager that organizes the team well on both sides of the ball, especially going forward, and has employs a system that clearly incorporates everyone and has everyone as a role that suits everyone in the team, you're going to get the best out of your players. Attacking players, defensive players, all the players at Aston Villa, just look like the players we all suspected them to be for a long time. One of the big things again also with Leon Bailey is his work rate. You see, even defensively, the shift that he's putting in, even in the defensive moments of the game. Leon Bailey looks very impressive for Aston Villa this season. Love to see it. Hopefully he can continue throughout the entirety of the season, balling. And who knows, let's see if come the end of the season, Leon Bailey can even get a move to one of the biggest clubs in the world. That big dream move, from a achievement standpoint, footballing achievement standpoint, and even from a financial standpoint as well. Those moves tend to pay big bucks. We wish the baller all the best going forward this season and for seasons to come as well. Hopefully he can continue this trend throughout this season, towards the end of the season, and also throughout the remainder of his career. Knock up the likes button, subscribe and share. Free and easy ways to support the Formula Sports channel. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and until next time.